Okay. So, once again, a very good evening to everyone, and a very warm welcome to the Autumn Internship Program 2025, organized by Ideas Institute of Data Engineering, Analytics and Science Foundation, Indian Statistical Institute, Kolkata. It's a pleasure to see such a diverse and enthusiastic group of participants joining us today. This program has been carefully designed to provide you with the both technical knowledge and a practical experience in the field of data science and analytics. Over the coming weeks, you will gain exposure to online classes, project work, and close mentorship from our experienced faculty and industry experts. So, this is not just about learning concepts, it's about applying them, collaborating with peers, and preparing for real world challenges. And we are expecting commitment, discipline, and active participation from you. In return, we promise a structured and enriching experience that will sharpen your skills and expand your career opportunity as well. So, let me take you to the today's agenda first. So, we will begin with a welcome note and introduction by our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Agnimitra Vishwas. And he will be giving us an overview of Ideas TIH, introducing the field of data science and explaining the objectives of this internship program. Later on, we will have another session on identifying the right project path, a well-defined decision. It will be chaired by our technology head, Ideas TIH, Mr. Diptendu Datta. Later on, we will be discussing about the internship framework from onboarding to the completion. It will be discussed by me. And then we'll have a short question answer session for both section 1 and section 2 participant. And after this section 1, they can leave the meeting, and the next part we will be for our section 2 participant, which will be on the elements of data science project life cycle, and it will be chaired by Dr. Shujoy Bishwas, head of research and innovation, Ideas TIH. So before to start off the today's program, I have the honor of introducing our first speaker, Mr. Agnimitra Vishwas, CEO Ideas TIH. Mr. Agnimitra Vishwas is a BTech from IIT Kharagpur and a PGDM from IIM Calcutta. Over 30 plus years of experience in technology and consulting for global consultancy firms such as PwC and IBM in research and academics at Professor Kaziranga University and Praxis. He is the CEO of Ideas TIA since 2023, and sir will cover the following topics today. That is introduction to data science, our overview of Ideas TIH, our organization, and the objective of this internship program. So with this, I would request Agnimitra sir to continue from the next slides.
Of the participants maybe. So thank you for the warm welcome to all our participants. As the participants would have realized by now that this is a pretty big batch of interns that we have, and it is only possible since we are doing it as online internship for most of it. So I'm sure even with a bigger batch, we can handle the objectives, and that's what I will cover in this curriculum. We will put everyone, because it's a large group, we'll put everyone on mute, and we'll open it up only during the Q&A session. In between, you can ask your questions on the chat window, and Bidisha, please take a look at the chat window and stop me if I need to answer any one of those.
Sure.
So I'll start with a very brief introduction of data science. I know we have a tight schedule today, as Vidisha explained. So what is data science? Why is it important to us? And some of these are probably known to some of the participants, but may not be so well known to all the participants. So I'll quickly run through that. So these are some of the comments about data from four leaders, if I may say. And as you can see from the first comment, there were 5 exabytes of information created between the dawn of civilization to 2003, and that much information is now created every 2 days. And that was a comment made in long back, I think about 10 or 15 years back. And now, of course, this speed of data creation, digital data creation, has even increased more. Next, from Peter Sundergaard, we have this, prophetic uh, quotation: "Information is the oil of the 21st century, and analytics is the combustion engine." So, in the present day world, whoever has the maximum data, who has access to the data, has is the most powerful. Yes. The third quotation is very important. We are surrounded by data, but we are starved for insight. So just having enough data doesn't mean that we are meaningfully analyzing those data. We are getting insights in terms of science, in terms of technology, in terms of business, in terms of economics, how to make sense of that data. So that's all about data science. Data science is all about asking interesting questions based on the data you have, and often the data you don't have. So um, just a second screen, the internet in 60 seconds. So just to see the volume of data that is getting generated. So when we think of data, data is not only the data that is in spreadsheets, or that is in databases, or that we can visualize in the form of tables, which is called the structured data. Data is, in most cases, more than 90% data is what we call as unstructured data. So these data is generated from emails, generated from all the social media posts. Data is there in the YouTube videos, and some of these are really mind-numbing numbers. The kind of, and just imagine, this is what happens in 1 minute of an internet time. So multiply that by 60, multiply that by 24 and 365, and you can imagine the kind of data that is getting generated on every day. So we call this big data. So those who are not familiar with big data is a very common terminology that we use in data science, in data analytics. So what is big data? Big data is characterized by what we call this 5 V's of big data. So big data, essentially, by definition, it means extremely large and complex data sets. The traditional data processing tools. We have been doing data processing, computers came in the 1940s and 50s, and we have been doing data crunching work for a very, very long time. But what has changed in the current century over the past, I'd say, 20 years or so, is the data is becoming extremely large, complex, and they are characterized by these 5 properties. Of course, volume is already, I talked about the volume, the kind of data that is generated. It is also about the variety of data, right? I talked about structured, unstructured data,
Sir,
semi-structured data.
sorry to interrupt. One question is there.
Mm.
Uh, it's from Pearl Core, asking, is that not what insights and analysis AI tools for doing for us?
No, no, let me finish. Don't jump the gun and put all your questions now, right? Let me finish the charts, and then you can shoot your questions which are related to this concept. I'll take the questions later. So variety is the different kinds of data that we see. So timestamp data is another type, and things like that. Also, we have spatial data. We have data from satellites, which we call the Earth data, remote sensing data, data generated from various, IoT devices, your sensors, and so on and so forth. So huge variety of data that exists. That is one of the characteristics of, again, 5Ps. Then we call it a velocity. So data can be static, or data can be moving, right? Moving data in the sense real time, right? The phone calls that you are making, the number of phone calls that is happening. For example, Google uses the streaming data to determine what is the best possible route, for route optimization. So to do route optimization, it needs to measure in real time how many cars are there on the road, right? So that is, of course, only generated once the phones are connected to the network, to the internet, right? So that's real time and near time data. And we also have a lot of data that is not moving, right? So that is called the batch data, static data, right? So velocity is another aspect. Um, Veracity is another V, right? How much of this data is trustworthy? How much it is authentic? We cannot really use all the data without knowing what type of data it is, right? So otherwise, it will bring in a lot of incorrectness in our analysis of the data. And finally, the value. The data must be having value, and that's one of the characteristics of the big data. So let's move on to the next slide. I will come back to the questions. Meanwhile, keep posting your questions. Maybe some of those will get answered as we move. Um, However, so that is the point I was trying to arrive at. Although we have enormous data, the data is expected to reach 175 zettabytes, and you have some numbers given, right? What is a zettabyte, right? And but only 2% of it is actually analyzed. So the question for to ponder is why the data cannot be analyzed, why we cannot analyze all the data that is getting generated. So maybe I will pause here and see if there are any answers coming in the chat window. So how do I see the chat window? Let me just check. Yeah, chat window. Any answers to this? Because it's too large and complex. Is that not what insights analysis AI tools? So we have not yet come to AI. So please give it some time. Every data is not worthy. Unstructured data and authenticity, because they're mainly unstructured due to unstructured data. So we do have mechanisms to analyze unstructured data. Okay. Just because it is too large and complex is not the reason why we cannot analyze it. We can still analyze it, but some of the points that you have brought in, yes, the analysis needs to have some value. The data needs to have some value. There is no point analyzing each and every data without understanding how we are going to use that data. What question does it answer, right? There may be a lot of data that includes errors. So that's also correct. Erroneous data, incomplete data. Not all data is useful. Noisy data, very good. So we are getting all the good points from our participants. Not all data is valuable. Cost and infrastructure limits, and that's also another very important. So although we have made a huge progress in terms of increasing our data processing infrastructure, yet it is minuscule in terms of the infrastructure that is needed to process all kinds of data. And when it comes to infrastructure, it's not about the computing power. One most important is the energy consumption. So one of the biggest concerns, and with the proliferation of artificial intelligence, the use of the data centers, the use of infrastructure is increasing manyfold. And right now, world's 5% of world's energy is used only to process data. That's a huge number that's going to grow many times. And if you have to analyze all the data, right, we'll need a huge amount of cooling power, because all these data centers, one of the biggest headaches of these data centers is that they become hot. They're really very, very hot places. You have to cool them, and to cool them we need energy, right? So it becomes a vicious cycle. And to cool these data centers, we have to set them get enough water from the poles, right? Many companies are in fact thinking of setting up the data centers near the Arctic Circle, and use the ice and the cold water to cool this. So all these are challenges that refrains us from analyzing all the data. But as data scientist, you are expected to make meaning out of this data, whatever is possible. So you have to have a very specific focus in terms of what you are going to analyze. And the data science is the art and science of extracting these insights and knowledge from data to make informed decisions. So that's the value of the data analysis comes again and again. What value we are going to get out of this analysis? Roughly, the data to get meaning from the data is a four-step process. You have to collect the data, we have to analyze the data, we have to create some modeling. So to get insights, we have to build some models, some predictions, and use algorithms to forecast what we are going to see. So it's only useful if you can use the data to make some projections, some predictions, some actionable, what we call in business terms is actionable insight. There has to be some insights that gets generated, and then not only that, it has to be communicated. What your findings are from the data, that has to be communicated properly. So here comes the role of data visualization, right? And data visualization is one very important part of data science. So I'll move on. So just to summarize the field of data science, so you can think of data science as the big circle, which is anything to do with the extraction of knowledge and insights from the data. Understanding data, cleaning it. Cleaning is another very, very big part of, and those who will be doing projects will realize that data cleaning is one of the most labor intensive activities that we have, because data could be erroneous, it could be incomplete, it can be full of biases, and so on and so forth. So data analytics is a subset focused on analyzing data to find. So data analytics can be used in business. We call it business data analytics. Most common use of data analytics is in driving the business decisions, right? From as simple decisions to very, very complex decisions. Simple decisions like how much am I going to produce to meet the demand of my product? And from there, more complex decisions like a self-driving car or optimizing the route, or even finding out what is the optimal way to assign your delivery task to a delivery boy, right? So all that is part of the data analytics. Then what is AI? Artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is that branch of data science which deals with mimicking human intelligence and in making decisions based on reasoning, problem solving, and learning. So there are many, many different aspects that are involved in artificial intelligence, right? It's the way the human thinks. So you can think of a robot, you can think of an autonomous car who needs to make a decision about pressing the brake or pressing the accelerator, just like a human being. So these are where the use of AI comes into picture. And then machine learning is again a specific area within the domain of artificial intelligence, where we are using the mimicking the way the brain of a human being learns, right? How a child learns, how it learns from experience, right? And that's how in a machine learning model, the machines learn based on the data that is fed into it. So many of these topics will again be covered in somewhat more details as we proceed along, but I just thought we'll summarize and put it all up here. Okay, so there is one chat. So can we say data visualization similar to data analytics? So data analytics is a bigger field. Data visualization is one part of that, right? So after you analyze data, you have to represent the data properly. So that's where the data visualization comes in. Difference between AI and ML, I just explained. AI is a bigger topic, bigger domain than machine learning. Machine learning specifically focuses on what we call the way our brain, that is our neurons, right? They learn, and that's specific to machine learning. But AI encompasses many other things as well. So I hope many of you may have gone through a presentation which Bidisha have shared from Professor Dipti Prasad Mukherjee, which gives a very high-level introduction to AI/ML. So if you have not gone through that, so we deliberately kept it as a pre-read material. It's a 2-hour talk, very lucidly explained, what is machine learning and how it fits into the AI domain. Okay, I would recommend all of you to go through that. Okay, so in the interest of time, let me move on. I have few more things to discuss. We also have a short video from a very renowned personality. We'll soon come to that. Now, with this advent of generative AI, LLMs, people have started asking questions. Everything is being done by the machine. So, is it still relevant for today? What's there in the career in data science? So, when you talk about careers in data science, roughly, even now, you can group them into these three areas: data analyst, data scientist, data engineer. Out of that, data engineering is the field which is more to do with how you organize the data. So how you collect the data, how you disseminate the data, how you build the pipeline in a real-time environment so that that data can be used meaningfully. So you can see two terms here, ETL and ELT. This talks about the extraction, transformation of the data and loading. So how do you build data warehousing? So the more complex the world is becoming in terms of the data usage, the more important it is becoming. The all the three roles. So data engineer deals with building pipeline. Data analyst is more from the business aspect. They look at making sense. So all the data analytics part, data visualization part, that is more of a domain of the data analyst. And data scientist is more involved in the machine learning, artificial intelligence, and model building, testing, and deploying. Right. So we still, the field of data science is of primary importance. It is evolving. So it's, although a lot of progress has been made, but it is still evolving. So the field will not go away. There will be still a lot of researches, still a lot of work to do. And it is expected that although AI will handle repetitive tasks, the human expertise will be still needed for understanding the business problem, right? So you cannot take away the role of a human in this whole world. Not everything can be automated. And then interpreting the insights, communicating them, building relationships and trying to understand, like empathy and all those things are not the domain of AI. The businesses don't run based on only what gets churned out from the computers. It is based on trust. It is based on the mutual respect. It is based on leadership skills, communication, and so on and so forth, right? So, and ethics, of course, just using data blindly may lead to ethical issues, and which is also to be avoided. So, many of those are still left to the human being to decide. Now, Gen AI, earlier we thought, AI is only for repetitive tasks, but to create something new, AI cannot help. But that myth is also now broken with the generative AI, as the name suggests. It generates new things based on the past data that is fed into. So although it has made leaps and bounds in terms of the capability of artificial intelligence, but still, even generative AI follows what we call a repetitive patterns or templates. It is based on a certain set of templates, and then it applies its logic to generate a new token or a new image or new something, right, from that. So it's still repetitive. So the bottom line is, it is still a field which is generating a lot of interest. But not only that, I think I'll come to that later. For any walk of life, um, it 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 will make you in an advantageous position if you understand the data. So understanding the data is the first step, and that is becoming more and more something that is a very basic requirement, like reading, writing, arithmetic. We used to say that these are the three core skills, but apart from these three core skills, nowadays I think understanding data and how to use the data is becoming another core skill. So uh, what you will learn in these fundamental courses that we'll teach will probably go towards making sense in terms of what you do with the data. Okay. So now I'll talk about a little bit about, so this is a brief introduction to the field of data science. Now I'll come to the introduction to ideas, TIH and ISI. So this building that you see here, this is the R.A. Fisher Bhavan of Indian Statistical Institute. And the ideas TIH stands for Technology Innovation Hub, is located at the top floor of this building. Okay, so those who will get a chance to visit, you're all welcome to visit us sometime. So you can come and see that. So few interesting facts about Indian Statistical Institute. Some of these are very well known. So when was it formed? That's a very common quiz question. So almost 100 years back in 1931 by Professor Prashanta Chandra Mahalanobis, the father of statistics is called in India, right? When he started, he was the only person working at ISI, managed with the annual expenditure of a princely sum of rupees 250. So from there, we have come a long way, and ISI has now budgets which are, well over 3,000 crores of rupees per year. So a lot of things are happening. So many people think that ISI is only in Kolkata. It's not that. It's not true. So there are many locations. So there is a comment here from Myanmar. It says deep learning is a subset of machine learning. Deep learning algorithms which involve neural networks is called. So yes, you are right. So machine learning is the deep learning goes further deeper into the neural network concept. So we call it shallow learning and deep learning. So some of the topics of deep learning will also be covered. You are very right. Thank you. So let's stick to this. So we have got several centers in New Delhi, Bengaluru, Chennai, Giridih, Tezpur, Hyderabad, Pune, and Mumbai. ISI not only is well known for its field of computer science and statistics, it also conducts research in a vast domain of diverse fields such as physics, statistics, applied mathematics, economics, social sciences, geology, biological sciences, etc. So as you can see, it's a really a interdisciplinary institute where students and researchers work together from multiple domains. Okay. These are again two tidbits. India's first indigenous analog computer was designed by a professor here, and India's first digital computer was also installed in ISI. So it has a very, very long history in terms of computers, developing algorithms, especially in the domain of artificial intelligence. One last trivia about ISI. ISI, when it started, the geologists of ISI, um, they were involved in excavating some of the very premier dinosaur fossils in India. And one of them is named after Rabindranath Tagore. It's called Barpasaurus tagorei, which can be found at the ISI Geology Museum. So those who get a chance to visit ISI may quickly drop by. So this is the fully assembled. This is one of the best preserved dinosaur fossils anywhere in the world. Okay, fossil of this size and almost all the bones are preserved properly. It has been found from the central India, sometimes in the 1950s or 60s, I think. Okay, so what is IDEAS? So IDEAS was formed in 2021. It is the Technology Innovation Hub of Indian Statistical Institute. It's a Section 8 company funded by the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. We have many activities. One of the activities is to conduct researches in data science, data analytics, data engineering, and data curation. We develop products along with the researchers and startups. We incubate and nurture startups. And then we have a very active role in skill development for next generation technologies. So this internship program and many other training programs that we cover are part of the skill development program. I will skip through the next few slides quickly. These are some of the people. So key people of ideas, and you can see Professor Agnimitra, who is the director of ISI, is also the chairperson of ISI, and Professor Deepti Prashad Mukherjee is the project director of Ideas TIH, and I have already shared one lecture from Professor Mukherjee. We also have industry participation. Dr. Nair from Ericsson, Mr. Pradita Chakravarti from TCS, there's a part of our board. And then you'll meet some of these other people. A few of the recent work done at Ideas TIH, I don't think we have time to cover through this, but you can see that variety of work again in a interdisciplinary. So we focus on interdisciplinary research. So look at this project. It deals with detection of heart disease, and then compare that with FOSHOL, which is the project we are doing for Ministry of Agriculture, and compare that with drone image analysis, right, which we are doing to identify areas in Kolkata which are malaria prone, like so on. So there are different types of projects, and this is just snapshot. There are many more projects, and hopefully few of you will be involved in these projects during your internship. We have a list of startups that are supported. All the startups, the criteria is that they have to be in the domain of data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc. So we support many such startups. Now coming to this particular program and objective, and before I go to the next slide, we have a small video here, about a 6-minute video from a very well-known personality in India. I think if I click, you will all see the name of the person, Mr. Gautam Adani. So this was a lecture that was delivered last week, 18th of August at IIT Kharagpur. So IIT Kharagpur is my alma mater. So IIT Kharagpur completed 75 years. So in the Foundation Day celebration at the IIT Kharagpur campus, this was live telecasted all over India. So it is a 1 hour talk, but I have just taken a small excerpt from this talk. So I will play that. And Vidisha, you tell me if this is audible.
Just 3 days ago,
Yes, sir, audible.
we marked our 79th Independence Day, and it is clear we stand at a major inflection point. The world is moving from a conventional war to technology-driven wars of power, and our ability to prepare will decide our future. Because the wars that we have to fight today are often invisible. They are fought in a server farms and not in trenches. The weapons are algorithms, not guns. The empires are not built on land, they are built in a data centers. The armies are botnets and not battalions. And here is the uncomfortable truth. In terms of technology dependence, 90% of our semiconductors are imported. One disruptions or sanction can freeze our digital economy. In the case of energy vulnerability, we import 85% of our oil. A single geopolitical incident can restrict our growth. When our data crosses India's borders, every bit of this data becomes raw material for foreign algorithms, creates foreign wealth, and strengthens foreign dominance. And in the case of military dependence, Many of our critical systems are imported, bringing our national security to the political will and our supply chains of other nations. This is the freedom we must now fight for, the freedom of self-reliance, the freedom of Atmanirbharta, if we are to be truly free. 80 years ago, here in the Ijli jail, young men and women fought for the right to govern our land. That same fight continues, only the weapons have changed. And this is what I want every student here to take back. You are the next generation of freedom fighters. Your innovations, your software code, and your ideas are today's weapons. You will decide whether India takes command of its need or surrenders it to others. As we all know, in a world of robotics and AI, cost advantages will vanish overnight, and we can quickly lose our ability to compete. This is not a transformation at 1x speed. It is 10x. It is 100x. And it is accelerating towards 1000x. As AI start to build AI, LLM start to write LLM, robots start to build robots, code start to write code, machines start to teach machines, and discoveries start to fuel more discoveries. And this is why I call it our second freedom struggle.
All right, so I got you know mm, quite inspired by this speech, and what Mr. Adani talked about is how this world is, what we call is becoming increasingly automated, complex. Is the job of students like you, the forebearers of the future of India, to make yourself equipped to take India to the next level of self-sustenance. Okay, so that is the reason why I thought this internship program is one of the stepping stone for all the students here who have enrolled, learning how the data, how the power of data, artificial intelligence, machine learning can be used to harness, newer technology and innovation in India. So, what are the things, how we should prepare ourselves for the future? So, it is very clear that humans and AIs will not replace human, but they will coexist and they need to collaborate. So there is no point in fearing the advent of AI, but you have to learn to use AI responsibly as a tool to go to the next level of innovation. Second is continuous learning, right? The age of that I have learned something. I finished my school education, college education, and now I don't need to learn anything more is gone, because you have to keep learning continuously throughout your life and your career. So practice continuous learning, adapting to change, be ready to reinvent yourself. If your skill becomes obsolete, learn something new, learn some other skills that will make you relevant again. So that's the, I think, one of the key messages that I have here for all of you is, become resilient. What does resilient mean? Means getting back from a failure, right? So with so much complexity, with so much, fast uh, advancement of technologies, you may fail, right? Everybody may fail. A farm might fail, a startup might fail, but it has to learn from the failures and then become resilient. Become creative, diversify, learn arts, foreign languages, and make yourself always abreast in terms of, practice these skills which will makes you creative. Okay. Perseverance, keep doing in spite of. So these are some of the, gyan that I want to share with all the students here. With this, I would like to relate it to the internship program. So why do we decided to launch the, I will take just a couple of more minutes. Why we decided to launch the internship program. So it's a part of the NEP 2020, which emphasizes the importance of research and internship for undergraduate students. And three main objectives: skill development, experiential learning, and career exploration. And through our short internship program, we try to, curate this. We have tried to curate this program so that it addresses all these three main objectives. Why data science matters for everyone? Okay, so we already discussed this. So I'm quickly, the point that I want to highlight is data literacy, is one of the top skills employees look for. And that doesn't mean coding skills. Okay. Yes, coding is important, but creativity, critical thinking, understanding data, understanding how data can be used to enhance productivity is the key. So our internship program here that you'll undertake is mapped to the UGC guidelines. So, and that's the reason why we are giving out the certificates that are compliant to UGC. There are many students who have joined this to earn the 2 credits that are required by UGC by going through through an internship program. So for them, it will make more sense. But there are other students who do not care about the credits, but they may be, you might be interested in understanding the technology in a more, at a greater depth, and then gaining hands-on experience, networking with your peers, learning how to work as a team, learning how to, get your project planned and then deliver and execute those projects, right? So all that is part of our internship. So I think by this time, this is more or less clear. So I just want to reiterate one more time. So there are 2 sections, as Bidisha says. Section 1 are those students who opted for the foundation internship program, which is for 1 month. And section 2 consists of those students who have opted for the advanced internship program, which is for 10 weeks. Okay. And this is how the internship is split. We have online classes, which is going to happen, starting from today. So today is the intro session, but it's essentially starts from today because we did learn quite a few things. We also heard from a visionary like Mr. Adani, and then followed by the project. So there will be some common topics, including today's introduction. Then there will be a couple of common topics for both the sections. But for section 1, we are primarily focusing on Python as a programming tool for data science. So detailed program schedule, Bidisha will share, but the focus is more on taking you through the basics of Python programming in 2 weeks' time, followed by a project that you can start actually at the end of first week, and then you have to finish it within 1 month, right? So the dates will be shared by Vidisha. And section 2, of course, is more involved. There will be so these two training programs are separate and they will run in parallel. Okay, barring few couple of sessions which are common sessions. And for the advanced internship, we have selected the topics that are more useful to us in terms of the projects that we will be doing. So it might be slightly different from what you saw in our website advertisement, but more or less it covers all the required areas, domains where we need you to work. Right? And of course, followed by a group project. So other difference here is for section 1, the projects are individual projects. And for section 2, it is going to be a group project. So with that a brief overview of the internship program, I will now hand over to, okay, this slide. Oh, sorry, I'm going back. Just give me 1 second. I will hand over to Mr. Ditendra Datta to take the second session. And it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Datta to all of you. Mr. Datta is a B in Computer Science from Gallup University and a Master's from the University of Saskatchewan, Canada. He's a computer technologies with extensive expertise in software product development in the domain for last 35 years. He has built several companies. He has worked on many prestigious projects, and he is a very, very keen, passionate about undertaking the projects. And essentially, this internship program has been designed by Mr. Datta, and he will be talking about what is the right project path for you. So over to you, Mr. Datta. You are unable to on. So we made you. Oh, okay. Okay, now you should be able to unmute.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Mr. Vishwas. So, hope I am audible. Vidisha can confirm.
Sir?
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, welcome again to all the interns. I can see 244 of them have joined today. So, basically, projects are the main essence of an internship program. That is what I believe. And I guess you are also aligned with that idea that the main concept, the main aspect of a internship program is the projects. So we have created a list of projects we have curated, we have discussed amongst ourselves, and we also have experience of the last 3 or 4 cohorts. So based on that experience and some other factors, we have decided upon a list of projects that we will be giving out to you for execution. And what is expected from you is that, the interns will complete the project. And if the project is involved with some elements of coding, which most projects will be, you will put the code, the project report, and a project video up on a public GitHub repository. So we already have some people who know what the GitHub repository is and how to put things on that. But we also have a session on that if you are interested, so you can attend that as well. And as mentioned before, we have 2 sections. So section 1 and section 2. For section 1, the project topics have been selected so that they can be completed within 2 weeks after your training program. And also mentioned already that you have to do it on an individual basis. So no groups for section 1. What we have done this time is we have provided you with pre-built Jupyter notebooks, which has already got the code in it, basically. So since you have only 2 weeks, we thought this would be the appropriate way for you to undertake projects. You have the option of enhancing these notebooks, based on what sort of new features you would like to add or new things that you would like to do. But you don't have to start from scratch. So we are providing you with a pre-built, a pre-coded Jupyter notebook on various topics. So each of you will be given a project, and for each project there is a pre-built Jupyter notebook. So how to run Jupyter notebooks, etc., will be covered in your Python courses, where you will be given a demonstration of how to create an account and how to run these Jupyter notebooks. The mentoring, that is an integral part of this internship program, will be done by a group of resource persons. So we have a number of people with us at Ideas, and we also have people outside Ideas who are collaborating with us for these various programs. So they will be helping you to resolve any issues that you may have. And all issues that you have or your queries should be raised on Google Classroom. I think that is the right approach that we will be taking. So don't put it on WhatsApp or anything like that. There will be a structured mechanism using which you can put your queries on Google Classroom, basically. So section 1, individual projects, pre-built Jupyter notebooks will be made available. You are expected to run these Jupyter notebooks, create a project report, and also a project video. We insist on creating a project video so that anybody can actually check how your project is running, what is the output that it is producing. So all these things, the code, the report, and the video should be put on a public repository so that others can. So you can share that repository, put it in your resume or biodata, so that people will know what sort of work you have done, basically. Okay. Next slide, please. Section 2, the project topics here are a little more involved. The timeline being 2 months, 7 weeks to be precise. And almost all projects will be requiring software and coding skills. So I guess people who have opted for this section 2 option would need to have the basic coding skills, or they can sort of brush up so that they are able to execute the projects. What we will also do is we'll have a data collection exercise. We'll create a Google form and share that with section 2 people who will be able to record what they already know. So for example, if you already know front end, if you already have front end skills, and we'll be able to sort of give you a project based on that. So apart from the skills that you already have, you will be required to learn new things. I guess that is the whole point of an internship program, that the project will require you to learn new stuff. Okay, so I'm sure you're being young people and students, it would not be a big deal, and there are so many resources available out there on the net, and you have tools like ChatGPT and others. So you should be able to learn new skills as and when required based on your project. So these projects topics will be done based on the feedback that you give us in the Google form, as well as the area of interest of the various mentors. And we will be putting the interns into groups, unlike the section 1 approach. In section 2, we will be working in groups, since there will be the topics would be a little more involved, so multiple people will be able to contribute, and not everybody will be doing the same thing. The idea is that group formation, and then dividing the task into various subtasks in consultation with your mentor, and based on your background skill, you should be able to find out who knows what or who will be better for what, and then divide the work amongst yourselves in the group so that the project can be executed smoothly. Each group will be assigned a mentor, and the same mentor, of course, will be working with multiple groups. So please remember, the role of the mentor is for overall guidance. Do not ask for a day-to-day basis, help on day-to-day basis, that this is not working. How do I write that code? The whole point is that you should be able to work in a group and find out the problems and then solve them. Basically, the mentor will be able to guide you. Maybe he or she will be giving you links to various internet resources and other books and stuff like that. And the knowledge, you don't expect the mentor to know everything about the project. The mentor is kind enough to agree to sort of help you, but that does not mean the mentor will be knowing all the software products and the various libraries by heart. Okay, so the, basically the idea is the mentor is an experienced person who will be helping you to reach the goal of your project, but not everything will be known to the mentor. So don't have that expectation. That is what I'm trying to say. And before I move on, I mean, we'll be having some other sessions. So this brings me to an end of my presentation. But just before signing off, I just wanted to mention two things basically. So you keep on hearing about models, that ChatGPT model, this new model comes out, that new model comes in. But if you think about it, what is the role of the model in the software that you are using? Suppose you're using ChatGPT, right? Maybe you're using the desktop version, or maybe you're using from the internet. The role of the model, in my opinion, would be only be about maybe 10 to 20%. The actual model, that is, the AI model. Okay. Rest 80% is good old software. How are you interacting with your model? So there is a layers of software, thousands of people who are working on that software. So don't get too much hung up on AI models or machine learning models. Okay, the models are only a part of the solution. You have to remember that. In this internship, many of you will be able to sort of see how the models are built based on the project that you are doing. But the model is not the end. The model is only a part of the entire thing. So that is what I would like you to remember. Next time you think about AI, don't think about just the model. I mean, there are so many other components in an AI-based application. In fact, these days it is becoming more important to understand how an AI-based system works. Okay, so that was point number one. And then the point number two was from concepts to careers. If you really want to make a career in AI, data science, and other things, you need to sort of go through an internship exercise which teaches you, which makes you understand an entire system. So that is why the projects that you will be doing, okay, in your internship will be about the system. So we are running a number of projects here at Ideas. We also have multiple product initiatives. So people of Section 2 will be assigned the so-called real life projects. So these are projects and products that are actually working. We are sharing that with our users and customers. Okay, and you will be getting an opportunity to actually work on these live projects. And these live projects, as I said, is involved with developing an entire system, not just the model part. Okay, so keep that in mind. When you will be assigned a project, think about in a holistic terms, and each of you will be having an important role to play in that group of 3 to 6. All of you will be important, and we will be assigning you projects based on your background skills and the projects and the products that we have in time. Okay, so that was, I think, I have completed my presentation, and Vidisha, maybe you can take over from now. Thank you.
So there is one question.
Oh, okay.
Whether groups are pre-assigned or groups will be, no, they have, students will have options of the groups.
So projects, I forgot didn't get the question. Well, it's in the
Are
chat,
the
right?
groups, project groups for Section 2, they will be pre-assigned or students will form their own groups?
No, they'll be pre-assigned based on your backgrounds. I've already gone through the backgrounds of all the, I think, 87 or odd number people, and we are doing analysis on that. Maybe next time we'll be using AI for that purpose. But for now, we are doing a manual analysis. My colleagues and myself will be analyzing your background and that Google form that we have there. And based on that, we'll be creating those groups. So yes, it will be, the groups will be pre-assigned.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dotto. We'll move to the next part, I request Mr. Datta to stay for 2 more minutes in case there are any other queries that come up. So Vidisha is going to take us through the internship framework from onboarding to completion. So I have the pleasure to introduce Vidisha very briefly. So Vidisha is a BTech and MTech from Macau and MBA from Manipal Academy in Dubai. She is currently pursuing a PhD as well, focusing on communication, AI, ML, and blockchain. She has been an assistant professor. She has an extensive teaching experience, and right now she is end-to-end responsible for running our all our training and internship programs. So she has a tough job ahead. I know everybody is keeping her busy, but she is going to take you through some of the key aspects of this program and also some of the behaviors that we expect from all the interns, okay, and students. So over to you, Vidisha.
Thank you so much, sir. Basically, I'm going to share the internship program structure for both the section. The first that I want to share. So, the internship it start with today's inaugural session, and after this inaugural part. Tomorrow onwards, we'll dive straight into the theory classes, and this will be conducted online via Zoom from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Thursday and Saturday. This is the basic structure, and for only I think one class we'll check on to the schedule as well. Only one class is designed for I think for section one is 6 to 8. Apart from that, the time is fixed. So the first for section 1, the first 2 weeks will be dedicated exclusively to the theory classes. During this period, you will focus on gaining the strong foundational knowledge which will later help you during your project and practical work as well. And for section 2, the interns will for the first 3 weeks interns will be fully devoted to the theory classes. This extended duration, the third week, that will ensure that each of you builds the necessary understanding and skills before moving on to the applied session. Sir, can you please change? Yeah. The here is some general rules during the online classes. So the internship program officially starts on 25th August 2025. That's today. And the next point is the all communication throughout the program will happen through Google Classroom. For online sessions, we'll be using Zoom as a platform. And please make sure you log in using your proper name as registered, and otherwise your attendance will not be marked. And then the third is online classes will be conducted, as I already mentioned, 7 to 9 p.m. every Monday to Thursday and Saturday. If there are any changes in the schedule due to the instructor unavailability or anything, it will be informed to you in advance. And you are requested to join every session at least 5 minutes before the scheduled time, and each participant must attend at least 80% of the session. Attendance will be tracked, and you have to successfully complete the internship uh, to get the certificate. So please make sure you must have your 80% attendance throughout your classes. Now, some basic online etiquette which we are expecting to ensure the smooth sessions. You are requested to follow proper online etiquette. That is, keep your microphone muted when not speaking. Since more than 250 participants are attending at a time, so we are requesting you to mute yourself. And avoid using your mobile phone for non-class activities such as texting, browsing social media, watching videos, and gaming during your classes. And also, you are requested to be mindful of the background noise. Choose a quiet environment and free from loud music, conversation, and distraction. So this is the schedule which I have already shared with you. This is for the section 1. So here only you have entire schedule is from 7 to 9, except on 30th August Saturday it will be from 6 to 8 p.m. So rather than that, the time is fixed for 7 to 9, Monday to Thursday and Saturday. And this is for section 2. It has also been shared with you, and here the time is fixed 7 to 9, Monday to Thursday and Saturday. So you can check with your email as well. If you didn't receive yet, please check your email inbox, double check your spam junk folder. I think you will get it. Okay, now the main part, that is the project. How will you going to handle this two section with respect to the project work? Now the thing is, the project detail for the section 1, the first step is project allocation and then the project workflow. So in case of the project allocation, um, your individual project will begin in the second week of the internship. Now, point is, you may ask that your theory classes will be there in the second week as well. So, it is mentioned as second week because the project list will be circulated at the end of the second week. As the time is a little short for section 1, it's 1 month. So, this will help you to start working without wasting time and aim to complete the project within the final 2 weeks. So that is why it's mentioned here the second week onwards. But actually, the first 2 weeks you will have your solid theory classes, and third week onwards you will start your project work. And now, so we will be sharing a set of curated project notebooks, each covering a unique data science problem or topic. And this project will be randomly assigned to each of you. And here I want to emphasize one thing. There will be no option to switch or choose your own project. Okay. The idea is to encourage the adaptability and independent thinking, which are both critical skills in data science. So please approach this project with a positive mindset, even it feels unfair, unfamiliar at the first step. So there is no alternate option for project change, and we will not entertain anything. Okay. So all communication regarding your project, including materials, updates, and submission instruction, project manual, everything will be handled through the Google Classroom. So make sure you make sure to check it regularly. Missing an update or deadline because you didn't check the platform won't be a valid excuse. So, and now the project workflow. So the first is the what you have to do. First, you will receive a Google Classroom invitation at your registered email ID. Once you have joined, head over to the classwork section. This is where you will find your project details, submission format, and additional resources. Okay, and a group of mentors will be available to assist you with your queries. And we understand that the projects can bring up questions, especially in the the self-space environment. That's why we have assigned a panel of mentors who are here to support you. So if you have any doubts, any technical or conceptual, please post your query in the designated space on the classroom. So just heads up through the since the mentors are assisting many interns, So almost in section 1 we have already 200.
Vidisha, can we go a little faster?
Yeah. So do allow them to work at least 24 working hours to respond, and so that they can ask questions early and don't wait until the last minute. So here your submission deadline is 19th September. Before that you have to submit your project as per the format and guidelines will be given, and the certificate of completion it will be issued once you submit the report. So can you please change the slide?
I
So
think
same
we
as
have discussed this one, Diptendra has already discussed. So
okay.
just discuss the key point, which is that it will be group based. No individual projects will be allowed, and the
So
groups will
mainly
be.
the one thing is the submission deadline in case of section 2 is 31st of October, and rather than everything I think already mentioned by Diptendu sir. So we can skip this slide as well. So here are some rules for communication with professor, mentors, and other program-related personnel and peer groups. Uh, when you are reaching out to professors, mentors, or any program-related personnel, always use proper email etiquette. Please keep your message clear, concise, and respectful, which will reflect your personalism. And the response time, that is please allow a responsible amount of time for response. Professors and mentors and other internship any program related personnel, they might be busy with their schedule, so it is expected that replies could take up at least 48 working hours. So be patient and plan your communication accordingly, and you are expected to working with your peers and other members cordially, and effective teamwork and communication are the key to project success. So any other issues you are facing apart from your project and classes, you can reach out me. Sir, can you please go to the next slide? Okay, here the some important point. I will not go to the detail of this. One major thing that is the communication regarding the problem, class, project, and general internship issues. So any issues you are facing regarding your classes or project, first you can discuss with your mentor. Then you can reach out me as well. And one important point here I want to mention, the course cancellation rule. There is once the internship program begins, cancellation will not be accepted, and a refund policy, in case you choose to leave the internship after the program has started, there will be no refund of the program fees under any circumstance. So please make sure this particular point. And another one, the project internship completion certificate. So unless until you are submitting your project report, you won't be allowed to take the completion certificate. You will get the participation certificate only. That is the another important point. And the last, the campus visit requirement. There is no campus visit is needed. Entire internship program will be conducted online, and for section 2, based on their project requirement, they may visit to the mentor few times. So that completely depends on their availability. So there is no hard and fast rule to attend the institute physically.
Okay, so we are
Yeah.
now open for question. So you can post your questions on chat. So one question we already received is that can we shift from section 1 to section 2? So I request those who are interested to write to us separately. You can write to Vidisha or write to the office at Ideas TIH.
Sir, here I have one suggestion.
Yes.
Sir, can we circulate one Google form for this upgradation? Because
Well, let's see, how many students are interested. If it is just 1 or 2 students, we don't need.
okay.
What is the prerequisite for Section 2 members? Section 2 members, as Diptendu, I think, already explained, the projects will be based on the topics that are covered. So prerequisite is that you need to be good at Python programming, because we are not covering the basics of Python. Okay, I'm expecting more questions. How one becomes eligible for the certification? Section 2. I think it was mentioned that you'll get the completion certificate only at the end of 10 weeks, right? Not after doing the training. So after you complete your project. So let's check the other questions. Okay, so there is a question in terms of the attendance. So it is a feedback that it should have been shared online. So I don't know what is the expectation. This is only for the first 2 weeks, right? So during the theory classes, if you are not present, you can miss classes for genuine reasons. That will be considered. Can you provide me with an offer letter? Yes, we will provide with offer letter. Vidisha, I think that point was not covered. So we will issue the offer letter to all students. Okay, then there are some general questions, comments, I'd say. So let's see, some expectations from this internship program. So definitely we look forward that your expectations will be met. If I want to contribute to offline project, so Sujay is going to cover few things for students who are in section 2. So let's leave that. Can we leave if there is no doubts? So if you are in section 1, you can leave now if you do not have doubts. For section 2, please stay back. Is the pre-read material enough for Python? If you are in section 2 and you feel that you need to attend Python classes, please write to us. You maybe perhaps do the classes with section 1. Okay, please write to us. Any project related to computer vision? Yes, Diptendra already answered. One or two sessions are missed. So no, it will not affect. And just asking, can a student join or participate in the online projects, ongoing projects? Not all the ongoing projects are still ongoing. So yes, we will assign for section 2. Many of the projects will be what we're doing right now. Will there be recording? I think we shared that. The recordings will be there for 10 days for you to download. After that, it will be deleted automatically. Since someone is asking, is it tough for completing project? So not sure what is your expectation. It is, as Diptendra said, we will assign projects that are suitable for after a 2-week class to attempt, right? So it should be suitable. Recording. You're not paying attention. We have already covered that. Process to upgrade from section 1 to section 2. Please write to us separately. So some of the questions I think Diptenduda has already answered. So those in section 1 who want to join section 2, please write to us. Offer letter. Offer letter in the sense we will issue a internship letter which will say that you have been selected for this interview, for this internship. So those who are in section 1 will also get that. Letter of recommendation, we don't generally give letter of recommendation based on internship. It's too short a time to recommend someone. But of course, based on your project and your feedback, you can highlight that in your resume. Is it mandatory for Section 2 students to visit ISI Kolkata? Answer is no. How much learning we can expect? That depends on you. If you believe in spoon feeding, then you will not learn much. If you want to explore, then definitely you can learn. Okay, so this recording and this PPT will be shared. So if you have missed anything, you will have the opportunity to go through it later on. And if you have further questions, you can post them in the Google Classroom, okay? So more details about the specific projects will be shared later on. So if you're asking, what will be there in the Jupyter notebook, etc., that we will share separately. Is there any laptop generation or model preference for projects to run? Diptendra, can you take that? So Diptendra will answer. Is there any laptop generation or model preference? What is the hardware needed for section 1?
I think Google Cloud suffices. I mean, Google Colab. Google Colab.
Okay, so Kabir's question is every topic in section 2 is to build foundation. So of course, in a 3-week, it is only possible to cover to a certain level, but the internship project that we'll do, that will make the difference, I believe. Okay. When section 1 students visit ISI, you are welcome to visit, drop by anytime, but we are not planning for a campus immersion for section 1. Can you share the email ID to write? You can write to Bidisha. Bidisha's email ID has been shared, bidisha@ideas-tih.org. Okay, so we will note down the questions. I think we have to start the next session. So those which are not answered, we will compile that and share with you, okay? In interest of time, let's move on to the next session. So those who are in section 1, you can drop from this. Thank you very much for showing interest in the internship program. And we hope that with the limited time that we have, you will be gaining in terms of both your knowledge as well as your experience. Okay, so rest assured, all the questions that you have posed, we will send answer separately, okay? Okay, so it's optional for section 1 to stay. If you want to stay, you're welcome. But so I'll hand over to Shujoy for starting the next session. So I'll just introduce Dr. Shujoy Biswas. So Dr. Shujoy Biswas is our head of research and innovation at IDEAS TIH. He's the founder of AIMP Labs, a private AI research and training center in Kolkata. And he holds a PhD in electrical engineering from University of California at Santa Cruz. He's a MTech in computer science from ISI and a BE in mechanical engineering from NIT Durgapur. So he has worked at IBM Almaden Labs and University of California at San Francisco. And he has also teaching experience at Ramakrishna Mission Institute. So warm welcome to Dr. Shujoy Biswas. And I think the heading of this slide is not correct. So Shujoy will talk about how to run a data science project. So very high level overview. So I will stop sharing here and over to you, Shujoy.
Am I audible, Vidisha?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Agnimitra, for the warm welcome. So let us move ahead with the elements of a data science project lifecycle. I believe you have good idea of how the internship is going to be, your responsibilities, and the information we are going to share. So I would dig deeper into the technicalities of a data science project. So let us start with this. I mean, I grew up with the knowledge I gathered from reading this book on artificial intelligence by Stuart Russell and Peter Norvig. And in this book, I mean, it's pretty standard book in artificial intelligence, but what I want to point out is that I had the opportunity to listen to Peter Norvig in one of his talks when he came to visit our school, and he emphasized that when he was studying in school, he and his peers, they were I don't know, some marks appeared. Okay, let us ignore it. So he and his peers were focused on system development. So at that point of time, their focus is on system development. Vidisha, could you please see this, I mean, withdraw the privilege of making marks on the slide? Somebody is making annotation. That is a little bit distractive. Anyway, so the focus is on system development, but with time, the focus on system development has shifted to data. And he actually introduced us to a magnificent work, The Unreasonable Effectiveness of Data, where he showed that as you keep on growing the dataset size, there would be a time when even the simple models, for example, not even the deep learning models, the simple models, for example, k-nearest neighbor kind of models, they would be able to perform as good as the advanced model like the support vector machines, kernel machines, random forest, this kind of thing. So that is the power of the data. And if you're looking at the news headlines today, so the war is fought over data and oil. In fact, data is now called as the new oil. So the data is important because most of the codes nowadays are available open source, but so this is something I often hear my students saying that, sir, this the model is, the new model is open source. So when I look into the model from Hugging Face or somewhere else, I see it's not open source, it is open weight. So there is a big difference between open source and open weight. So now the models we see are open weights, but they are not open source. To make it a model truly open source, you need to share the data set, the code, as well as the training philosophy, how you have trained all the hyperparameter configuration, everything. That truly makes AI or ML open source. But nowadays what we see are the models are open source. Again, going back to that Peter Norwich's slide, the most of the system developments are available. What is not available, where the fight is over, is the data. So we would focus on the data part here, and data is the main part of the data science project lifecycle. And the outline of my presentation is divided into three parts. One is the stages in data science project. The second is setting up a machine learning lab. What you can, so this is a targeted at section 2. Section 2 interns would be knowing these things in details. The setting of machine learning lab, you would have a course on version control, cloud computing, and also I would teach one at the end of the session how to set up a data science lab. So all things would be there, and I would give you a very broad overview of this setting up journey in this talk. And I would conclude with the professional responsibilities. As a data science professional, you must be aware of some of your responsibilities. So let us start with the stages in data science project. So these are the stages in data science project, and I would visit them one by one in details. Okay. So the first thing is, what is data science? So if you look at the various definitions and terminologies all over the internet, there are many ways you can explain what is data science, but what I understand is this is an interdisciplinary field that spans statistics, computer science, and definitely domain specific knowledge. So when I would be discussing the problem statement, I would be emphasizing the importance of this domain specific knowledge. Unless and until you capture this domain specific knowledge in your modeling part, your data science model building or data science journey is not going to be complete. So capturing this domain specific knowledge with statistical modeling is important, and computer science provides the tools and technologies that in the form of algorithms to solve various optimization problem that arises out of this statistical modeling. Before I go into the second part, let me see if there are any questions, because I see some chat notifications. No, there are no questions. Okay, let us go ahead. So this is the project life cycle of a data science project, and it starts with the problem statement and goal setting. The second is the data collection. The third part is actually a cycle. You collect the data, you clean the data, because there would be a lot of missing part of the data, there would be a lot of noise. So you clean the data. You need to annotate the data, because you need to train the machine, right? Annotating means labeling the data. And then you also need to see if the data is well behaved, or you need to gain some insight from this step so that you can build models. So the models are not built out of thin air. I mean, you need to get some idea how, for example, the kind of structure in the data, the kind of relation in the data. So that's what happens in the EDA phase, the exploratory data analysis phase. And with the insights you gathered in this part, you go into the model training, and when your model is delivering good results, satisfactory results, you go towards deployment. And it's not the end of the world here. You have a lot of things to do even after deployment. The next immediate thing is monitoring. You need to see how the model is working, how it is behaving, why it is that. I would come to that when I would be explaining the deployment and maintenance stage. I would explain why it is necessary. So what you must notice is that there is a backward arrow pointing to each of the stage, meaning that it is iterative in nature. It is iterative in nature because you need to go back and forth through this project life cycle, and you need to revisit some of the steps which you have already visited in the past in order to fine tune some of the modeling parts. You need to gather more data perhaps. So this entire thing has given birth to a new discipline that's that is what I would call the extension of DevOps. In IT, what we used to call DevOps is now known as MLOps, because in IT, the data part was missing. But now we have data part, and since the data can be variable, the model can also vary, because the model is built on top of data, right? So if the data varies, the model varies, and we get a new discipline that is called MLOps. So with this, I would go to the next slide, and I see a question. When do you know your model is giving satisfactory results? Good question. So we would study it in some of the next slides, but hold on, I would be answering your question. But before I go into that, remember the way I defined data science. It is a combination of statistics, computer science, and domain specific knowledge. So when you, so if I describe the first part of the data science project lifecycle, that is the problem statement and goal setting. When you set up your problem, you must be careful about the domain knowledge that is becoming the part, that is a part of the problem. The example applications of the AI ML in biomedical, financial, public health, or industrial, wherever it is, the domain specific knowledge is important, because that's what you are trying to model with your statistical tools and techniques, right? So domain knowledge is important. So problem statement and goal setting has these four parts. You frame the problem statement, you define the success metrics, because when you define the problem statement, you need to also define how you are measuring the prediction. You would be building model, how you are measuring the prediction of your model, and the effectiveness of your prediction. And this is where I come back to the question that has been raised just a few minutes back. How would you ascertain the efficacy of your model? You would do that by determining the metrics in advance. When you would be defining your problem statement, you need to determine what would be your metrics that you would study in the course of this model development and evaluation journey. So it may be one of these, or a combination of these, or many of them. I mean, it comes from your discussion with the stakeholders, who are the people you are building this model for: end users, policymakers, companies, right? You need to discuss with them, and you need to see that if accuracy is the right metric, precision recall is the right metric, F1 score, or even the latency, because you need to find out how fast you need to deliver a result. If it is a real-time system, then latency is very important. scope and constraints, the computational resources that are available to you. Is it going to be cloud deployed solution, or is it going to be mobile deployed solution? Definitely a cloud deployed solution would have more resources than a model running in your mobile, right? So you need to figure out all these things when you define your problem statement. The next thing, if you can remember from the project life cycle, is data. What kind of data you are going to gather? So data are mostly available in the unstructured form, images, videos, text. When you label them, they or you organize them by adding some metadata or various kind of annotation, perhaps in the form of CSV or in various other database format. So they become structured. So structured data have a lot of insightful information that we use for modeling, but the value comes from converting the unstructured data into the structured data. So what are the data sources? Publicly available sources are definitely available. Data.gov.in for India government has shared a lot of data in this place. I mean, it's a very resourceful place. I would definitely encourage you to look into this data.gov.in. Sometimes I write Python code, and with a request API, I download the data from there. It's a very resourceful place. And since I work in computer vision, so ImageNet is definitely a very popular benchmark. There is MS COCO, and recent challenges are there, a lot of challenges happening. But what I would encourage you to do is gather your own data, because that is the data story you are going to tell the world, which nobody has ever seen, nobody is not aware of. So build your own data story. That's what the others, your employers, or even we would be interested in, what kind of new data adventure you are going to do. So for that, you need to do web scraping. You perhaps, for example, sometimes I set up mobile or camera and do stuff like capturing images in my surrounding for teaching interns or I mean scholars how to do image analysis, how to prepare data. So make the world your lab. I mean, use your sensors, use your camera to capture images, audios for various kind of data analysis. So while doing this, we would come back to this part in the ethical AI part. You need to be aware of the privacy concerns, bias, imbalanced data set. And since data collection and annotation is a tedious process, nowadays this recent trend is a very useful skill to have in your skill set, is the synthetic data set generation. Because when we are doing synthetic data set, when we are synthesizing the data set, we are not only synthesizing the data set, we are also synthesizing the annotations, the labels a part of that. If you can capture the annotations and label as part of the data set, then you have the both the annotation as well as the data set, right? So the next thing is annotation, ED, and cleaning, the cycle that I showed you. This is part of the cleaning exercise, exploratory data analysis, because you need to find out the structure as much as possible so that it would help you in the help you down the line in the modeling phase. So the tools available are pandas, matplotlib for imaging data. There is OpenCV for audio data. There is librosa library. All these things you can use for doing exploratory data analysis. It really depends on the kind of application you have, right? And you do various processing techniques to rule out the various bias that may be present in the data set, right? Now, model selection, training, and evaluation. Again, it depends on the application. So a question I frequently get is, sir, do I go the classical machine learning way, like support vector machine decision trees, or shall I employ the deep learning, CNNs, transformers, all these things? The question is, it depends. It depends because first, I mean, it's a terrible mistake to employ a heavy duty model in the first attempt. First, you need to get a hang of the data set. You need to get how the data structure is. So for that, what I often do is that I start small. I start with the classical machine learning techniques, maybe simple k-means algorithm by clustering and dimensional reduction, by projecting them into lower dimension, trying to see the clusters, the groups. they are available, and when I have enough confidence that I know how the structure is, then I move towards the deep learning stuff, heavy duty stuff. But moving into the deep learning in the single go can lead to something called overfitting that you would be coming to know more about it later during your machine learning task. So what are the popular tasks in machine learning that you would be solving? Natural language processing with the text data, vision with the image and videos, audio, speech, and many others. It depends on which group you are. You'll be doing project. It depends on your application. Now, these are the training frameworks you need to be familiar with: PyTorch, TensorFlow, Keras. I personally I prefer PyTorch because I work in computer vision, and so I am not saying that TensorFlow and Keras are not used, but a good majority of computer vision people are used to PyTorch. I myself am, but you are welcome to use TensorFlow, Keras, or MXNet, whatever is there out there. Transfer learning is important when you don't want to train it from the scratch, right? So model selection training is one part of that. The other part is the evaluation. I see there are notifications appearing in my chat. I would come to your questions, but let me cover a good part of that, and then I would be taking your questions. Maybe some of the answers to your questions are in the following slides. So the evaluation methodologies are important because you can conceive various models. Imagination can take you to many places, but you need to evaluate, are the assumptions, underlying assumptions are correct? Am I not overfitting, or am I not underfitting too? So these kind of questions would be answered in the evaluation part. Okay, and these are the evaluations techniques that you would be understanding. Also the explainability, that is also important, because most of the models are black box models, right? Deployment for production. So once you develop the model, how you are going to deploy it, it's very important, because nowadays we are moving towards AI SaaS. So the models are deployed. The SaaS that was out there was rule based SaaS, but now the SaaS are learning. They're for example, you are using ChatGPT, you are using Midjourney. These are AI SaaS. They are trained. So how you are going to deploy your learned models? Are you going to deploy over cloud? Are you going to deploy in a edge device? So these things decide your architecture, the architecture of the models you are going to decide, right? So if you're interested in this MLOps part, you deploy and then you start monitoring how your model is working. If you're interested in this part, then these topics are going to be interesting to you. MLOps that I said, how after deploying the model, how it is working. Is there a data shift? Data shift means, I would give you a very quick example. At a certain point of time, I was working on some self-driving data set, and I was getting good performance. But one day my colleague wake me up, and she's saying, there is a major shift, and we are getting all sorts of abnormal results. I said, how can it happen? So I found out that we trained on the summertime road data set, but a snowfall has suddenly happened, and with the snowfall everything has turned white, and the major data shift has occurred. So when the data has shifted, you need to gather more data, you need to retrain the model, and that's why the monitoring is important. And all this is part of a fascinating book that Chip has written. I would definitely encourage all of you to read her book. In fact, she runs a course, a beautiful course at Stanford on MLOps, and this is the book, the Designing Machine Learning Systems, which explains this MLOps and various parts of that. Okay. The final project deliverables depends on your advisor, but this is a tentative list that I have prepared. A project report, your GitHub repository, as Adityendu sir has already mentioned, you need to deliver your work in the form of a nicely done GitHub repository with a good README file and good folder arrangement, everything. So and definitely you need to have a presentation slide, and you need to talk to your mentor to schedule your seminar talk at the end of your project. You deliver a talk, and so let me do a recap. So this is the project life cycle we have. These are the phases we need to go through, and perhaps this is a good time to take the question. Keeping in mind the pain points of the user is the main thing. When we generate synthetic data, aren't we generating the same patterns that already exists? So this is a detailed question. The answer lies in the details. The way you are generating data, definitely there is a bias, but there is also a way you can get rid of this bias while capturing the data set. So, so this depends how you design the synthetic data set generation. Okay. So, can we get sample data with Python codes trained for both pre-processing and model building? I don't understand. Maybe you can rephrase it so that I understand. OpenCV also for vision. Yes, Chipman's books are amazing. Yeah, good that you have already gone through it. Good. So the next thing is I would quickly walk you through the machine learning lab, and you are going to learn all these things because we are dedicating separate courses during this internship skill development. But there is no harm if I do a primary walkthrough. So definitely you need to stick to Python 3 because Python 2 is obsolete. But I would encourage you to isolate your environment. So all the project should live in your isolated environment, and Python level virtual environment is done with virtual environment. And if you need OS level virtualization, you need to know Docker. I would cover some of these things when I would teach you this setting up data science lab. But there is another thing, version control. So this is the version control that you need. So in Agnimitra's talk, he emphasized on the importance of collaborating, communication with your peers, developing understanding with your peers. So all these things are very important. And one important way of doing all these things is the collaboration. The technical way of doing these things is version control through GitHub. These things are important. How you write commit comments, how your documentation is your peer able to understand from your code? Is it well documented? Is your commit history explanatory enough so that someone can read and understand? So all these things make you a very good coder, right? So versioning and collaboration you'd learn from Ronak's course, and these are the things you need to please stop making scratches on the slide. It's distractive, you know. Please stop doing that. GitHub. So these are the important things you must learn. So in the interest of time, I'm moving faster because I would be sharing this slide, or you already have this video recorded, so you can revisit it. Documentation, as I said, is important. Yeah, better, I mean, it depends on your writing skill. You need to be very good at writing because your peers would be understanding from your documentation, from your comments, right? What your code is doing. So one important thing, it's important to mention that nowadays I get this kind of question: what is the career development in the age of ChatGPT cursor? So it's important. I would go slow here. It's very important. Pay attention. So all the codes are can be generated with ChatGPT, Cursor, Cloud, all these things, right? Is it good enough, or shall I do it? Everyone is doing it. I am doing it. You are doing it. When I'm giving you assignment, I know you would be doing that, even if you don't agree or if you do, I mean, accept. So the thing is, where are we? Where are we as a community? the teachers, the students, the developers, all stakeholders. Where were we? So I have done all these things, and my understanding is that the vibe coding, the code that are generated with vibes, are not, at least now, are not ready for serious production grade system. No, they're not. I have tried a lot. I have spent midnight oil doing all these things. You cannot get a vibe coded project for mission critical systems, security first application, maintainable code, or high risk business logic. No, you cannot do that. So if you look at this spectrum, on one end, there is vibe coding. This vibe coding term is coined by Andrej Karpathy. So this is like a throwaway project or some fun project that you do not care about including in your production grade system. Maybe portfolio project that you want to keep in your GitHub repository. So this is happening in one end. In another end, this is there is a serious production grade system. So where are we? I'm not an astrologer, but my understanding is that I don't know what would happen in through 3 or 4 months or 3 or 4 years down the line. But right now, where we are is that I tend to stay in the middle. Coding with AI assistant, I mean, use these tools as your AI assistant or intern. What I would like to say is something in the middle of the spectrum, AI powered or assisted coding. Consider this. Earlier, we used to, perhaps students of these days do not do that, but earlier we used to do assembly language coding, C coding. And then this object oriented abstraction came, which allowed us to do object oriented C++ or object oriented Python. So it added several layers of abstraction. So this AI assisted coding can be viewed as a tool that is adding another level of abstraction in this whole cognitive hierarchy. The true benefit you'd achieve when you do this development, testing, version control, all these things with your AI assisted coding, the tools that you would be generating. Don't use agent in the first step. Use small queries, generate code, test them, go this way. If you really need to go through the agent based code generation, rely on version control. You would see all these things. So this is the setting up of machine learning lab. I'm coming to the last part of my presentation. Okay, so these are the ethical considerations. Don't do something that put you on the other side of the legality. For example, deepfakes can be good, can be bad too. It's a double-edged sword. If you don't know, just search it. The Volkswagen pollution scandal. The companies have a bad name for using AI in a bad way. Adhering to protocol and timeline for your project is important. Mentor can offer suggestions, not solutions, because we can do initial handholding, but at some point we need to learn from you. We don't know anything, so we can offer suggestions, but not solutions. Work with the team. Your team is important. Do not leave any communication gap. Even if you get sick or something like that, life happens. Communicate with your team. You tell them, I'll be back in a few days. I have this situation on my side. Your project, your plan, take accountability of this project. So I would conclude with this. You come from a heterogeneous background. Some of you are coming from economics, some of you are coming from engineering background, some even engineering, different types of engineering. So you come with different level of knowledge. We learn from you. We are thankful for that. But at the same time, I know that you ask us questions which we cannot answer within this well-defined schedule, because we need to follow a plan, right? So to answer some of your queries, what we have done is that we have created an online journal club. This is the Discord channel where I share some of the things which, for example, the Linux system. Most of you are comfortable with the Windows machine, but I push you towards Linux-based development. So how can you get started in the Linux system in a short time? So I share all these things. Sometimes you teach classes. I mean, that has not happened so far, but I would invite you to teach classes. I would learn from you. So these things happens in the online journal club. It's a friendly community place. for fostering learning, knowledge sharing. You are invited to join, but joining is not mandatory. It is no way connected with the internship. It's something different. It's a friendly place for hanging out, sharing knowledge. It's not mandatory. If you're interested, you can. Okay, so with this, I come to the end of this session, and now I would go back to see what are the questions. Will be given Google form to change from section 1 to section 2. Definitely Bidisha can answer this. Please share the presentation if possible. How much help can we get from the AI assistant for the serious projects? Again, remember the spectrum I said. There is no yes or no or zero or one answer. We are somewhere in between what I told you. So the take home message is that learn the skill set. Learn the skill set to use the AI assistant while being in the framework of software development. The project life cycle, the same story of version control system, but this time with AI assistant. It's a new skill set this young generation has to learn. Okay, questions? Agnimitra, you want to share something, or Diptendu sir? Oh, the Discord channel? Yes, here. Oh, sorry. Here you go. This is the Discord channel.
So all these details will be shared separately, so
Right.
you don't need to worry. And of course, Sujay's contact number, email is given, Sujay at IDSTIH. You can also write to Bidisha, our office, and we'll make sure that your query. So, this is just the inaugural session. I'm sure there will be many questions that will get answered over time. Please, bear with us, give us some time. You will learn yourself, how you will get into the groove, and you will learn by yourself. Okay. So I want to thank Sujay for taking this wonderful closing session for the team, and I hope I think few students from section 1 also remained, because I can see that the participants are still there. So hopefully you also learned a few things, and we look forward to having all of you this internship program, and we'll keep communicating over emails, over Google Classroom, over WhatsApp. WhatsApp we use only for one-way communication. So if for urgent notices and things like that, so you need to enroll in all these groups so that you are kept abreast of all the communications. So thank you. I think it's we already crossed our time limit of 9 p.m. And thank you very much, and see you again tomorrow. And those who are willing to switch their sections, please drop a note, and we'll let you know what you should do tomorrow. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.